Welcome into Jungle Tales, a Pirate Baseball podcast. We appreciate everyone tuning in whenever and however you're watching or listening, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or archived on Spotify. Today is game day for East Carolina football, September the 20th. The Pirates are hosting BYU tonight, 7:30 kickoff on ESPN2. But we're talking Pirate baseball this morning as we're joined by one of the most recent commits for ECU, and that is 2027 right-handed pitcher from Attleboro, Massachusetts, Miles Murray. Miles, welcome in.
Thank you for having me. I'm pumped to be here. Pumped to be a part of Pirate Nation. I can't wait.
Before we dive into some of your background and growing up there in the Northeast and so forth, and just your background with the game of baseball and developing your passion for it, let's talk first and foremost and keep the main thing, and that is how you got connected with East Carolina. Of course, you're a 2027 kid, and with that being the case, with the rules in recent years changing, Coach Godwin and staff could not contact you till August 1st of this year, and I know they were one of the first to do so.
Yeah, so, let's just start from the beginning. So last October, I had posted a video on Twitter. Coach Trey Daly with the Dirtbags had reached out to me, and I had signed myself up for the playing for the Dirtbags this summer. First showcase was at Elon University. Coach Knight was there. He had, from what I've heard from Coach Daly, he liked what he saw. And almost every start after that, ECU was at either him or Coach Palumbo. So they were very, very active within coming to watch me play. So getting a good feel for who I was as a player. And then as soon as August 1st rolled around, Coach Knight was the first person to text me. He was the first person to call me. And he was very interested in getting to know me as a person, which I really liked. And even the same day, Coach Godwin had called me, Coach Palumbo would call me in the next couple of days. So I just felt like with ECU, they were very, very interested in getting to know me, and I felt wanted. I felt like ECU was a school that I could go to and not feel like a number. I could feel like when I went there, the coaches wanted me to be like, they wanted me to be there. They wanted me as a person because they feel like I could contribute to their team.
Wow.
And so, with that visit back on September 6th for that Campbell game, I know that was the first time you had attended a college football game. You had the chance to see, right around 36,000 Pirate fans there at Dowdy Ficklin. Will certainly be much closer to capacity tonight. I wish you could see that in action against BYU, but I know you'll be tuned in on ESPN2. We were talking about that off the air.
Yep.
But your initial impressions of Pirate fans?
I mean, I am all for rowdy fans. I love that. I love being loud. I love the chanting. I love everything about it. Like, why go to a sports game if you're not going to be loud? Why not? Why go if you're not going to cheer for your guys as loud as you can? I like everything about that game was incredible. Obviously, the score turned out incredible for ECU, but just being around the people I was with in the stands, all of them were so invested in the game, and I could tell that's something that is. I can tell it's something that's prevalent in baseball too. With I've seen plenty of videos of the jungle rocking out there in the outfield, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah, at East Carolina, the jungle, the fan base for the baseball team is incredible, and you're never going to feel like they're not there for you. But there's a huge following around Eastern North Carolina, especially, but well-respected program across the nation and North Carolina. So we're glad to have you coming, and you're going to enjoy your time if you like the raucous jungle crowd for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to be here. Like being in front of that jungle is something that ever since I had started talking to Coach Knight, that's something I'm like, I can't wait. I was looking up the attendance. I was like, man, I can't wait to get in front of these people.
Yeah, and going back to when you were being recruited by Coach Knight, et cetera, it mentions that you throw three pitches in high school right now, and he's looking at maybe getting you another pitch learned. What are your three pitches you throw?
So right now I throw a four-seam fastball, just regular standard. I throw a changeup, but I've kind of developed a variation where you spike your middle finger, so it's almost like a knuckle. It's for me because I'm more of a supination type of person. I don't pronate well with a normal circle change. So I wasn't killing very much spin, and it was leading to too much vert on my changeup and not enough arm side run. So as soon as I tried that kick change, it has been phenomenal, and it's been, I think, my best pitch since I've learned that last winter. And then I throw just regular traditional curveball, try to go up, shake the hand of the person in front of me. And I mean, it's also been an incredible pitch. It's been a pitch that's gotten me a lot of weak ground balls, a lot of strikeouts and counts. I can feel like I'm comfortable throwing it ahead in counts, behind in counts, really wherever. Just being able to mix all my pitches up has been a big thing for me.
Yeah, and I saw Coach Knight mention possibly bringing on a cutter, sinker type pitch. So what, your arm angle is more of a 2/3 than over the top arm angle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a side. I'm not sidearm. I'm not over the top. I'm like 2/3. And he wants me to try a cutter because I have a very cutty fastball as it is. So he thinks if I shift over to the side, I could get a very solid cutter with that.
I saw about Perfect Game and a few other sources on X have commented about your curveball that, you know, you're able to hit the corners and you can throw it when you're behind in the count for strikes very frequently. I mean, for your age, that's kind of a remarkable thing to say about somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely accredit that to my stepdad. He played Division III baseball at Mass Maritime, and he threw all the pitches I threw except he had a splitter, which we've been trying to work on. It hasn't really worked. It hasn't worked that great for me, but it's all right. He walked 2 guys his junior year, like his whole junior year. I think he threw 70 innings. So he was a guy that like Maddox, like 80 grade command, like could not walk anybody. And it's incredible. And it's been very, very influential on me. Ever since I'd started pitching, he was the one that had prioritized throwing strikes over throwing hard, because I didn't necessarily start throwing like hard until I'd say a couple years ago. So I was always the kid that could throw 2 to 3 pitches for strikes pretty much wherever I wanted. And I think that's gotten me ahead of a lot of kids my age. And I feel like that's the reason I've been able to be so successful this summer. Because you see a lot of kids who throw like 94, 95 as like a 16-year-old, but it's a little difficult for them to be able to locate. So for me, being able to locate has been a huge thing for me.
We talk about that development piece. We've already talked about you know, in your excellent first impression of Pirate Nation 2 weeks ago. But with the development piece, you have Gavin Williams, a first rounder, Trey Savage with the Blue Jays, who just made his debut within the last week, really pitched unbelievably well, setting a Blue Jays franchise record for a rookie, striking out 9 guys down against the Tampa Bay Rays at Steinbrenner Field. Tell us about those conversations and the relationship you developed with Austin Knight, Cliff Godwin, and Coach Palumbo, and what they said regarding everything that will go into your development on your visit, you know, whether it's technology or otherwise.
Yeah, so I mean, my relationships with the coaches have been incredible. Let's start with Coach Knight. Like I said, he was the first person to call me, text me on August 1st. When I got down there on my visit, he was like, he gave me a handshake, like brought it in for a hug. I felt like I knew the guy for like 15 years. It was incredible. He led me around. Such an easy guy to talk to. And in terms of development, he, like I said in the article, he is always looking for new ways to develop guys and turn them into the best version of themselves, which is something he prioritizes the most. He wants to take what you do, what you're good at when you come on campus, and just make it better. He doesn't want to bring you on campus to try to change things. Like you're there for a reason, and he's saying he wants to take what you're good at and tweak a few things and maybe get you a lot better than that. All right. And he utilizes technology that I use at home. He uses armcare.com, which is something I use at home. And I'm obviously super excited that he uses that at ECU. TrackMan bullpens. They have guys from Cressy Sports Performance who do screenings on all the players. which is also incredible. I got the chance to listen to a few of them talk to a few of the Cressy guys talk to the ECU players, and they are intelligent beyond belief. They are so smart. They know so much about biomechanics, and I'm like, that's the nerd coming out in me because I love listening to that type of stuff. Coach Godwin as well is incredible. He shared some stories with me, and it just got me. It kind of got my family and I emotional. He is an incredible guy. I could not be more happy that he's going to be my head coach. He is on the baseball field, he's a hard nose, like get after it, work, and I love that. Coach Palumbo, he was the one who had helped me set up my visit, and he almost every other day, I think he was calling me, checking up on me, making sure like I was okay. Just asking any questions, asking if I had any questions, sending me itinerary for my visit. So I feel like all the coaches were very invested. And yeah, I feel like that meant a lot to me. So like that was incredible. All three of the coaches that I met, Palumbo, Coach Godwin, and Coach Knight were like they're incredible.
On the armcare.com, do you have the full kit or do you just do the assessment part of it?
I do have the full kit. I do the assessments. It's been a little lackluster recently. I mean, with the summer, it's been difficult to be able to get the assessments, and I wasn't home a lot. But now that I'm kind of settled in for the fall and the winter, I'm starting to do them more. I have the bands, I have the hip and core stuff, so that's something that I'm definitely going to be utilizing a lot this winter. I'm also going to be taking their biomechanics course to be able to fully understand everything that goes on within the arm. Because like I said, that's the nerd in me coming out. I love being able to learn new things about pitching, about biomechanics. I think that's just that all that stuff is super intriguing to me. And I think that's something I'm most definitely going to pursue in college as well. So yeah.
Yeah, with the technology and so forth, obviously, I'm sure there are those players, be it pitchers or position players, that allow the technology and the feedback that they're getting with those numbers to kind of overwhelm them. Tell us your approach from that standpoint, taking what you can from it to make yourself better, but at the same time, not reading too much into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys get caught up in velocity chasing, trying to just get it all out there, throw as hard as they can. Obviously, not really care too much where it goes. I think everybody would like to throw hard, but I think being able to understand the numbers in like a TrackMan or in a Rapsodo is equally as important. Knowing your horizontal, knowing your vertical movement, knowing your extension, your spin efficiency, release height, release side. I think all those play a factor in how good you are. And that's the incredible thing about baseball is that everybody can be different and be still successful. So just looking at the numbers, looking at your spin rate and looking at your velocity, I don't think those directly translate into how effective you can be in a game.
Yeah, and you mentioned spin efficiency versus spin rate, which, there's a number in between a low spin rate and a high spin rate where you're very efficient still and not out there crushing your arm trying to get the highest spin rate possible. So
Yep.
That's pretty interesting that you mentioned that. But I guess you've worked with TrackMan before, so this is nothing new as far as technology-wise that you're seeing in East Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
Having it at your hands every day.
Yeah. So I work out at this place in Mansfield, Massachusetts called 508 Evo. They have a TrackMan. I throw all my bullpens there. So every bullpen I throw is recorded. I get all the numbers on it. So I'm able to learn from one bullpen to another, not necessarily velocity wise, but like, hey, how is my fastball moving? How is my curveball? Like, how is the horizontal on that? For the changeup, what's the spin rate on that? And how much am I getting into the negatives with my vert? What's my horizontal spin efficiency, all that type of stuff. So it's interesting to be able – I think it's really cool that I'm able to know this now because a lot of people I talk to are – I wouldn't say clueless to it, but they have less of an idea of what everything means. So it'll take them longer to learn all this stuff about TrackMan when they get to college or say senior year throwing bullpens. So I like that I'm able to know it early because I feel like that just gives me extra time to be able to tweak the small things in the bullpen.
No, I didn't. Well, I had an observation that I'm a stats guy. That's my thing. I love stats, but I've noticed that you're very good at putting out stats, good or bad, but actually I haven't seen any bad ones. They're all good. But what I've noticed is, okay, you put out your high school stats and then you put out your travel stats. And like in high school, you had an ERA of 0.875 and a whip of 0.96. But then when you went to the travel, you like upped your game. Your strikeouts per 9 innings went from 1.65 to 1.9. Your ERA improved, your whip improved. I mean, do you have the ability, do you think, to turn it up when you're in either high leverage situations or playing against, maybe a little bit better competition?
Yeah, I definitely think I have that ability. I think I think that's something I've always valued is stepping into like that, the heat of the moment, those big games. Like I feel like that's something I've lived for, like something I want to like if there's a big game, like I want to be the guy that has the ball. And just my mindset going into the game is like, I don't care how good these guys are. Like, not to sound cocky, I think I'm better than them when I'm on the mound. Because you can't go on the mound thinking, man, these guys are so good. Like this is the number like 1 ranked player in the country. Like this guy's going to kill me. Like you can't think like that. You have to think that I'm better than these guys no matter what. And I think the results will speak for themselves. So just having confidence, no matter what the competition is honestly key.
Very good.
Kind of piggybacking off that, Steve and I go Hoist the Colors had an excellent article, within the last couple of weeks about you since you committed, and with that being the case, he was talking about your competitive nature. Trey Daly, the general manager of the Dirtbags, referenced that, and also your projectability and just with such an excellent delivery. And Coach Knight felt like as you mature, get stronger, and so forth, that the velo is going to continue to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of progress in the last year. I'll just say for velocity wise, last summer of 2024, I was, I think 6'1", probably 160 pounds soaking wet. I was just skin and bones. I feel like I had a decent ability of knowing how to move on the mound. I was sitting 80 to 82, topping 83, and got in the weight room last winter, put on about 20 pounds. And I mean, I've been up to 89 now. So it's been a huge jump from last year, which I credit to me being able to get in the weight room, eating more, putting on weight, eating right, proteins, carbs, all that type of stuff. And just being consistent with it, like stacking the days on top of each other. It's hard to see that improvement when guys go to the gym for once, twice a week. So being able to stack those days and get in as much as possible has been huge for me.
Going back to your childhood, and I know I told you we'd circle back to that. When did you first play the game of baseball, and when did you realize that, hey, this is something that I'm good enough where I can do this at a high level in college?
I started playing baseball as early as I can remember. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. My mom just tossed me in the local T-ball league. My mom played softball in high school, so she figured it would be a good idea for me to play baseball. I just started and I never stopped pretty much. I was always an outdoorsy kid, so being active was something I loved. Growing up, playing T-ball, transitioning into Little League. My stepdad, he was like, "Do you want to be a pitcher?" And I was like, "Yes," because I knew he was a college pitcher. So I think as soon as we could start pitching, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. He started teaching me, and I feel like I'd always had some form of success with it. So I just kept sticking with it because, like, hey, like I'm doing well with this. Why stop? And I just kept getting bigger, kept growing, kept getting older, kept seeing success. And I feel like it kind of just kept going until obviously now. I've always tried to find new ways to learn how to move more efficiently. My stepdad, he's certified in motor preferences, certified with the armcare.com and Driveline. So he's always been finding new ways to try to improve me as well. And I've seen really good success with that. But I mean, like I said, as far as baseball, I've played it my whole life. I think the moment I realized when I was like, hey, I could be pretty good at this, honestly, it didn't come for a while. I think it was probably around a year or two when I'd say it's around a year or two ago when I started playing into the summer, and I feel like we were playing against very good teams in New England, and I was pitching really well, and I was like, hey, maybe I can do something with this. And then it kind of all came full circle this summer when Coach Knight had seen me at Elon, and from what I heard, he really liked what he saw. And I'm like, wow, like being able to play for like a powerhouse ECU team, like I had never even imagined that until this summer. And it was just an incredible feeling.
With you being an Attleboro, Mass kid, are you a Red Sox fan, or who's your team?
Red Sox. I've been a Red Sox fan my whole life. Like any of the Boston sports, that's me. Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots, Celtics.
Yeah. Matt Semenza, a good friend of ours, he's a Middletown, Connecticut guy, so he's halfway between New York City and then also Boston. So a couple years ago, my son and I went up and had the chance to take in a Red Sox game as well as the Yankees-Cubs game, which was pretty fun. Fenway's exactly like I anticipated it being, and I can't wait to go back. But who's your favorite player? I know earlier in the conversation you referenced Greg Maddux, which was before your time, his playing days, but with the type of pitcher you are, and you referenced your stepdad, I believe his command is Greg Maddux. And who are some more of the modern pitchers that you really maybe pattern yourself after or enjoy watching?
I definitely enjoy watching Paul Skeens. I think he's incredible. His ability to learn. The dude's learned like 3 new pitches since he stepped in the league a year ago, and all 3 are plus pitches. It's incredible, his ability to be able to learn and adapt to the game. Even watching him at LSU when they won the national championship, he was lights out. It's incredible to see a pitcher dominate, and I love that. Him going into every game, the confidence he has on the mound, I think is incredible. Obviously, the fact he throws 102 miles an hour is pretty cool too. But all his stuff is incredible. Another pitcher I really like, I always like Clayton Kershaw. I love his curveball. Obviously, he's retiring, but so that's kind of ringing a bell for me right now. But I think he's always had that curveball that's just been an absolute hammer on guys. Like somebody called it public enemy number 1, and I was like, that's incredible. One
of the true 12-6 curveballs for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pitch that will definitely go down in history. Like you'll definitely hear guys talking about it. You're like, hey, like that Clayton Kershaw curveball, like nobody was ever hitting that. That was might go down as one of the best pitches in history. So I'd say those 2 guys are definitely guys I look up to as well.
JR, did you have something?
I was just going to ask Miles about how comfortable he is in the batter's box, because I can't find any batting records on him except for one doubleheader that you played with the Hurricanes last summer. You were 3 for 6, 4 runs, a triple, and 2 stolen bases, which shows you have a little bit of speed there as well. How comfortable are you in the batter's box, and is it something that you enjoy working on?
So I mean, I hit pretty much every year going until this year. I figured the time with me spent in the batter's box working on hitting was time taken away from me pitching. So I would never say I was bad at hitting. I feel like I was always a competitive hitter. I was never a guy that was going to put it out of the park. I probably hit 2 home runs ever. So I was a very contact driven guy. But I think just the thought of hitting and the effort it takes into like trying to perfect a swing was time that was being taken away from me, developing and getting better on the mound. But yeah.
So my question, Miles, is I'm guessing that before the summer of 24, you probably didn't spend a lot of time in the South, but man, you've been spending a lot of time there the last couple summers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you come across, like, I know you were in Georgia, you were in Nashville. I think you even went down to Houston. Have you come across any Southern foods that you'd never seen or tasted before? You know, like boiled peanuts or okra or anything like that?
Southern foods. I don't know if I've ever I don't know. I don't think I've tried any like specifically Southern foods. I can just tell you that the food down there is way better in general. Like, I think there's a reason they call it Southern comfort. Like it's incredible. And I could definitely see myself putting on a lot of weight going down there and eating. When I was in Texas, I think I had one of the best burgers I've ever had. I don't remember what the place is called, but it was called the Rodeo Goat. It was incredible. It's in Houston. And it was incredible. But I'm a big foodie. Like, I love food. Like, my parents will tell you, they spend way too much money a week on me for groceries. I eat way too much food. But I'm definitely going to have to, like, next time I get down there, I'm definitely going to have to order some like true Southern meals. And I can definitely get back to you guys on how those are, but I'm sure they're going to be incredible.
Did you have any grits for breakfast?
Oh, I did have grits. I was in Myrtle Beach 3 weeks ago for a coastal camp, and I had shrimp and grits, and the grits, they were good grits. I've had grits before. I feel like they're more tasteless for me. They're just like, they're carbs for me, which
exactly.
Is but
if they're not cooked or prepared correctly, then yes, I can definitely see how you wouldn't like them, because if they're not cooked right, they can definitely be bland.
Yeah, they were a little tasteless, but they were just extra carbs, which is fine. The meal itself was really good. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to try more Southern foods.
Okay. But just two more quick short ones.
Hey, JR, very quickly, I had a follow-up to the food question before we move to your next question.
Go ahead, Bubba.
And that is, on your visit 2 weeks ago for the Campbell game, did you have any Eastern North Carolina barbecue, or what did you have?
No, I don't think we had any barbecue. I'm trying to remember what foods we did have. We went to Nino's in Greenville, and that was incredible. I got chicken saltimbocca, which was really good. Then, yeah, I don't think I had any barbecue, but like I said, I'm definitely gonna have to try that.
Okay, Bubba, just one quick question and one quick comment. My question, okay, Miles, so you're from Massachusetts, and New Balance has a huge footprint in the Boston area and pretty much the whole Northeast. I think their headquarters are in Boston. But have you ever thought about getting a pair of Adidas cleats just to see if it's something that you're going to be able to transition into easily?
Yeah, I've even started looking at it. I was looking at the Adidas Icon, these purple cleats for hopefully the spring season for high school. I've always been more of a New Balance guy, but obviously with ECU being Adidas, I have no problem making that switch. I think the Adidas cleats are incredible. I think they look awesome. I'm hoping they fit well as well, which I don't have any worry about. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to being able to get some Adidas cleats to be able to try and obviously wear once I get on campus.
Okay, my final statement, or my final thought, Bubba, that I wanted to say is, hey, Miles, I have to be honest with you. I've done some podcasts, not as many as Bubba, but I've done quite a few. You have a future in broadcasting. I'm just telling you. For somebody your age, you are just absolutely great behind the mic. And I look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I've always tried to have a outgoing personality. Being able to share my thoughts is something I love. Talking to people, I like being social. So I feel like that's something I've definitely been getting better at.
Miles, we appreciate your time. A couple final things for you. Do you have a favorite baseball movie?
My favorite baseball movie, I would just probably say The Sandlot, just because I'm obviously still a kid. So seeing those kids around my age just playing for the love of the game, like the scene on the 4th of July where they're playing under the fireworks is I think the best baseball scene that you can ever get. I think that's absolutely incredible. And I really hope like some people are doing that still. I hope some kids are able to play under the lights and just play for the love of the game, because there's a lot of people who they outside of like their actual league, they don't really play as much. And I think people need to love the game more, because I love the game. And just seeing that movie, it just evokes the love for baseball in me.
And then outside of baseball, when you're not preparing and so forth, tell us about Miles Murray away from the baseball field.
Well, so I'm still in high school. So I'd say I'm a pretty traditional high school kid. I'd say when I'm not in the gym, in class, I have 2 jobs right now, so trying to pick up a lot of hours. I don't have too much free time, but I do love being social. I love spending time with my friends. I like being at high school football games. We had a game last night that I was at. I really like concerts. I'm a big music guy. Like, music keeps me going. Like pregame, you'll always find me with music, with headphones on. So I've been to a very good amount of concerts for somebody who's my age. I've also, like I said, I like being social. I feel like I don't have too many hobbies, but the ones I do have, I spend a lot of time doing. I like playing video games. I'm not, like I said, I'm a very typical teenager. So I do like a lot of typical teenager things. So yeah.
So let's say it's game day, you're getting yourself mentally prepared for a start, and we look at your playlist. What are those songs that would find?
Honestly, it kind of depends on the day for me. A lot of times I'll listen to rock, I'll listen to rap, I'll listen to country, like whatever mood I'm feeling for that day. It's the mindset for me is when I put my headphones on is like, I'm in my own world. I'm able to just sit down and breathe and just like know that this is my game. Like, I think the music, it has less to do with the music. The music is more of a distraction for maybe the nerves that you're going into the game with. It's more of you being able to focus on the song and being able to focus on just getting myself right for the game.
Yeah, people always told me growing up that I was ADD when it came to music. Country's definitely my favorite, but they would just always laugh when I had a burn CD like we had to do back in those days, to have country and then rap and then AC/DC all on one CD. But Wool and Johnny, do you have anything else for Miles?
I was going to say earlier, I in today's age of AI, et cetera, I threw the article from Hoist the Colors into Microsoft Copilot and said to summarize it for me. And I read the whole article, but I want to see what AI says about it. And at the very end, AI gave its point about Miles Murray and said, Murray's story is a blend of talent, fit, and mutual respect, exactly the kind of recruit ECU thrives on. So I basically, from talking to you already, I can tell that that's an exact fit, and they're spot on with that statement. So welcome to East Carolina. I know you're going to enjoy Pirate Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. I already know I'm going to love it here. I'm like already counting down the days so I can get on campus. Like, it's been a dream come true, being able to play college baseball, especially at a program like ECU. But yeah, I'm fired up beyond belief. I can't even tell you guys.
Well, Miles, we really appreciate you spending a half hour with us, and we look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Yeah, of course. Me too. Look forward to talking to you guys again. But yeah.
So, Pirate Nation, that is 2027 right-handed pitcher from Attleboro, Massachusetts, Miles Murray. Miles committed here a couple weeks ago, and we definitely look forward to him wearing the purple and gold in the years to come. But be sure to follow us on social media, on X, Instagram, as well as Facebook and YouTube, and we can be found at Jungle Tales Pod. But that will do it for this edition of the show. We'll talk to you soon here on Jungle Tales, and as always, go Pirates.